How you going? Happy Australia Day, everybody. I'm up on my hill where I'm truly, that's the advantage of height. Nobody can ever come up and start trouble. I'd be out of here on the other side of the hill. I'm a little bit rattled over the series of events of the last few days, but I just wanted to start by saying that this new hate speech bill that they've enacted was evidently passed through so that the blue machine can lock up the people who fall into the conflict brought to them by their foreign gangstalking goons. And while this was happening, I've been put on the spot and publicly derogated, made look like a thief in supermarkets by these so-called security guards, having them demands that I put my bag behind the counter. When obviously, I'm making good quid. I'm not going to be stealing your off-date lollies at um, overpriced potato chips. So that's been going down a bit, and then it was Saturday supermarket. I had one of these security guards come up, wide-eyed, poking his finger in my chest while I'm in the line, saying, "You come here, you come here, you come here." So I went and I paid for my apple juice, whatever it was, and I walked up to him and I said, "Yeah, you were signalling for me to come over to you." And he says, "Me? Oh no, I wasn't signaling to you." And then I just told him exactly what I thought of him. I said, "Look, I know who you are. I know what you do. I want you to stay away from me. That's all of you. Your pork chops don't work on me." And then I walked off and he followed me, waving his arms around like a thug, completely not professional. And he was trying to instigate a racial slur, trying to instigate something that they could pass under the hatred bill. Now, because we didn't have any alcohol sales today, on Australia Day, the National Day, I decided to celebrate on Saturday. So I went to the pub, and look, I know all of you people say you targeted individuals, you chosen ones, need to stay away from alcohol at all costs. Yes, that is true, but the game is about changing your frequency. It's not about staying too high or too low. It's about changing your frequency so that they cannot lock on to you and merge their digital cloning applications with you into your avatar, which is how they can merge into you and control you through mind control, EMF torture. If you have a look at my room, everywhere that I've been laying down on the other side of the wall, so this is outside of my wall, outside, the succulent plants have been microwaved to death. So I've moved, so I'm not on the window anymore. I'm not up on a bed. I'm around the corner from the window, sleeping on the ground, and they can't get to me. So they're really hating it. They're really lashing out extra hard to try to cause more damage and try to get me to have anger outbursts. But in reality, I'm looking younger every day from not being targeted by these weapons. My urine's clearer. I'm not getting kidney pains. I'm not getting excruciating pains down my vertebrae like I have been for the last 7 years because they're not able to lock on to me. Equally important, turn off all devices, remove them from the power source, and move them away from your sleeping area when you go to sleep. So I'll just go on with this a little bit more, but I'm an above average gardener. Nothing in my garden can fruit. I've got pumpkin plant. It takes 30 litres of water a day. It's flowering every day. Not one pumpkin is growing because they're microwaving the buggery out of it. The only fruits that I can grow are chilies because chilies have a very high oil content. Now, oil is the one that stops all EMF. EMF cannot pass through oil. Um, so that's why I drink. So I cannot go to my house 24 hours a day in this radioactive soup that they've blanketed my house with. I have to get out. Doing a little bit of toxicity into my body isn't as bad as loneliness. You need physical contact. So on Saturday, I went to the pub and I'm approached by somebody who's known to me. And me and him had a little bit of push and shove in the past, but that was years ago. And I thought, hey, I did get along with him. And suddenly, I wasn't quite sure about the interaction because it seemed very on point, very deliberate. I'd never seen him there before. I did a shit test, bent over to pick something up, leaving my drink with enough peripheral vision in my left eye to be able to see. Fair enough, a hand did go over and make a sprinkle move over my drink. So he said goodbye. They quickly got out of there, him and his missus, his girl. And then I go and get another drink immediately. I'm not drinking that drink. And then I go to another bar because I feel unsafe there. And I'm at another bar, I have one beer there. Then I go to the supermarket to get some kombucha because kombucha is like the methadone equivalent for alcoholics. It'll keep you thinking that you're drinking when you're actually getting sober, and it's a muscle relaxant. But the door's locked, and a friend is on the other side of the door. He pushes the green manual open to get out, and I walk up to him and I say, "Hey, Dave." And as I look at him, his face, he's saying hello to me, his face is shrinking to the size of a marble, and I'm freaking out. So I put hallucinogenics in my drink. Somehow, luckily, I didn't drink what was in the other drink. Maybe it could have been PCP. They could have made a combination of hallucinogenic and PCP. So so I get out of there and I'm riding down the river and I'm being followed by two police units everywhere I go. And I probably saw the whole town's worth of police vehicles. And the one that shocked me the most was two motorbikes on either side of the footpath screaming down me with their LED lights on. I didn't know that they were police, so I did a 180 skid so that I'm facing them and I see that they're two cops. Why they were doing that, I have no idea. Um, so then I go back to the bar for one more drink. I walk out and my bike has been disabled. They had ripped out all of the cable hardware from my bike frame so that my gears wouldn't work. So then I have to walk 3 kilometres and I walk past a gang of more than 10 youths between the ages of 16 and 22. And one of them puts his arms out, signaling, like, yeah, what are you going to do about it? So they lined me up, thinking that I'd be off my head on PCP or definitely hallucinogenics and a combination of something else, which I did not take. And they disabled my bike and then they set me up against a losing battle. But I walked through them, kicking my bike along like a toddler's kicking his scooter along. And I had a heavy motorbike chain, which is about as lethal as a sword in my eyes. I had that wrapped over my shoulder, and they had a one look at me, and not one of them wanted to start anything. So I got home. But this was a 2 week plan they've started. Firstly, by trying to get me to violate the hate speech bill, and these people are doing it everywhere they can. They felt so empowered before this bill was even enacted. They've been going hell for leather trying to put me on the spot, trying to get me to cause racial slurs, act violently. But it's nonsense because I've grown up with just as many black friends, Asian friends as I have white friends my whole life. I'm naturally not a racist person. But so this is what it is, and this is all paid for by the Zio Corp Original Illuminati New World Order. They make your life so shit so that you move, and as soon as you move, a corporation buys your house, and that becomes a national disability house where they move somebody who has a house out bush into your neighbourhood, and then they move in two foreign aid workers into that house, and that is happening to entire suburbs now. There's rubbish all down the street. There's crime all down the street. They mark your house with Coke bottles, and then they send a Snapchat to their friends. This house here with a Coke bottle in front, it's got an entry access through the back. It's easy. Um, I really think that for them to do something this stupid and still having it fail, I think that they're terrified. One thing that I have noticed is when there's no clouds, sorry, when there's a sky full of clouds, there's nearly no gang stalkers. There's nearly nobody in the street. It's like they're too terrified to go outside. I know that by EMF torture, B2K, has all but stopped when there's no clear sky. So you've even got military installments here. There's more military installments where I live than they would ever admit to. You've got one place called the Central Desert Knowledge Precinct. If you look at the definition of a precinct, it's actually almost like a separate state under police control. And what they've got there, have a look at their website. They do things all about culture and they just show you half a dozen pictures of people painting and dancing with clapping sticks. But then they've got a multi-million-dollar Doppler radar installation. Why they would have that is to microwave the sky to separate the oxygen molecules in the air and drive the clouds away. Meanwhile, you've got every plane in the world in the sky right now, all ghost flights, just spraying us with everything that they want, from garden parasites like aphids, gold rot, black rot, to aluminium sulfite to energize the airspace and create a digital grid that they can see through. Now, the clouds obviously cause havoc for them doing that. They don't like the clouds. They're able to deem more places as bushfire hazard so that they can buy their land really cheap, just like they're doing in Argentina. They've done it to the East Coast. They're doing it here. They don't want you having a veggie garden. They want your land to be worthless by scorching it, having it written off as high risk bushfire hazard. I said that very quickly. I wanted to go into more detail, but it is what it is. Now, I don't know why they disappear when the sky's full of clouds. I'm starting to think in my very creative mind, maybe there's external forces picking them off and the sky's full of clouds because it feels that way. And then guess what happens? Just as I'm riding back from my bike ride just then, they throw me the same honeypot trap in front of me. She stops right in front of me and stares into my eyes. I rode past her and she yelled something out like tiny dick or something like that. I don't know. I don't know who she is. South American. But they're all ultra polished, ultra attractive. They've all got different coloured hair and all that sort of stuff. I think that they're a underworld style of prostitution. And they offer me one of these honeypot traps every time they try to kill me and it fails. It's like they're trying to balance out their karma. But as soon as one honeypot trap falls away, another one comes in. These people are monitoring you all the time. So if you're going to find a real woman, you're going to have these honeypot traps stalking you, trying to keep you away from that real woman because they want to keep you. They want you to marry the government, not an actual human being. I hope you're all good. Just remember, it's the same dirty tricks all the time. They can't do anything different. Just pure cowardice. If ever they do enact some form of violence against you, they've always got to make you at fault for it. So walk around as you please. The worst that they can do is sabotage your reputation, your property, your food. Okay, take care. See ya.